Thank you for tuning in to Connect More, featuring the shared experiences, new adventures, and nightmares of four pals who have known each other for decades. Connect More utilizes the swear jar concept to raise funds for the American Cancer Society. When you hear this during the episode, the offender will contribute to the swear jar. We'll update the swear jar each week at the end of the program. We hope you enjoy the show.
Hey, yo, welcome to another episode of Connect More. I'm Eric. There's John.
Hello.
That's Brian.
Greetings.
And that's Jason.
Present.
On this episode of Connect More, John and Ween cheat at Uno. Jason and I give some sound advice, and then band names return to the whip around. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Look, it's great to see you guys again. I mean, listen, Connectors, we pre-record shows, and so we loaded up a bunch of episodes so we could give the Connect More staff a nice, year-end holiday break. So we haven't seen each other for a bit. I hope your guys' break was great. Mine was. Guys, I just flew in from San Antonio for the break, and boy, are my arms tired.
I was hoping you were going to land the plane on that one.
Yes.
Love it. Yes.
That joke has got to come back. I insist it comes back. Our good friend and number one listener, Ruben, lives down there. Tanya and I finally got to go down there and spend time with those folks and just had a ball. And we were there over New Year's Eve, which was a sight to see, man. I've never seen anything like that on New Year's Eve. It was fireworks and gunshots everywhere.
And you couldn't tell which is which, right?
You can definitely tell the AR-15s from the regular fireworks. And then the folks across the street from Ruben's family's compound, we were standing out there counting down to the new year, and I look, and then in the street, those folks, there's like three of them lined up, like they're in a firing row, and they got these what look like these guns at their hip. It looks like the guns Jesse Ventura had in Predator, and they're just standing there with these things at the hip aimed at the drainage district ditch at the end of the block. And as soon as they hit one, they rip these things off, and they're just shooting these fireworks streamers. It was amazing. And then everywhere you look, left, right, straight behind you, there was just firework display. And I'm not talking about the good old fun Iowa stuff, pop, pop, ooh, pop. No, it was a show. Like, there was neighborhood shows all over the place.
Yep. Been there, done that. Loved it.
I think we've all done it, right?
Yeah, I've done the New Year's Eve thing there. I've been there multiple times. I don't go during the summer, but
I don't think I've been there. I've not been in San Antonio for New Year's Eve, I don't think, but
yeah, we did summer also, but a fantastic town. Great visit with Ruben. I'm glad you guys got to do that. And what are some of your big memories from that, other than fireworks?
Well, you know me. I mean, food and drink is a thing, right? So Ruben taking us to the Blanco Cafe to have his favorite lunch, and I'll never look at tortillas the same.
Yes, right off the stove, right? And that's
gosh darn it, they were so good. It was like a really nice piece of flatbreads, like the concept of that, right? I've tried to make them before. Now I'm going to take another shot at it after I had that. But that seriously sticks in my mind. I'm also now a big Red fan. I just got Tanya sent me some.
You like Nebraska?
Gum? You like gum? You like gum?
No, the soda that they have in Texas called Big Red.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like a cream cherry soda. It's really good. And if you go to the right places down there, you can get a Red-A-Rita.
Which are delicious.
Yes. Nice.
Well, and in general, like Ruben and his family take hospitality to the next level.
Oh,
like you've never really experienced hospitality until you've been to the Arsate compound, and just how gracious and welcoming and kind and giving they are. It's a whole nother world.
Yep.
It is so they are so gracious. By the way, we need to have a special shorty because Cricket, one of Ruben's nieces, sent us back a bag full of candy. She knows we did that candy episode, so she sent us back some San Antonio candy favorites for us to try and review.
love
Arsate
it.
Stone for all your stonemason needs.
Alamo restoration for new roofs.
Love it. The hospitality was amazing. And so they got us out we went to a missions game, we went to the Alamo, we went to the flea market, and the flea market was a personal high point for me. This was an Arrowhead Stadium sized display. And I guess I'm talking like somebody who, lifelong Midwesterner who hasn't had the opportunity to be exposed to that culture that much. But man, that was amazing. You could get everything from appliances to luchador masks to candy. And everything was, the price was it was suggested, right? And it was always up for discussion. And I was just really surprised by the varied nature of the goods for sale.
Yeah,
I did get a luchador mask.
Yep.
You got a luchador mask? That is fantastic.
I finally got one. Yes.
Good.
Absolutely.
We're
Good
most
job.
of the way there. We're almost
Good
there
job.
for tag teaming.
Yep. I love going to the flea market because that's an old drive-in. Those are an old drive-in. So they got the rows are where you used to drive your car through and everything. I mean, you get your lawnmower. You can pick up some yard animals. You get your picture taken with Batman. You could do all kinds of stuff there. Yes.
Dude, the flea market had almost as many animals as the San Antonio Zoo.
Yes.
The other thing that stuck out with me in San Antonio was the bathtub grotto, right? The idea of it's a yard decoration. So you do Mary or one of the saints in what looks like a half-buried porcelain bathtub, right? So everybody's got a little grotto or shrine in their front yard.
I could give you a tour of those in Dubuque too,
I
by
could
the
give
way,
you a
John.
tour of those in the South Side of Des Moines.
Yeah.
You just got to pay attention, John.
He's too busy ignoring speed limit signs to be listening for the.
I did feel like the prevalence was a little heavier in San Antonio, but I will take I do understand the Catholic faith is alive and well in those two places you mentioned.
It is a great trip. The tourist stuff, do the tourist stuff too. It's fantastic. The Alamo, the zoo, all of that, and then go get the local flavor because it is very, very good there. So highly recommend that trip to San Antonio. And I'm told, Ruben and Chuck were talking about how you bump into Iowans there a lot because they say they just zip down Highway 35. And they're in San Antonio, and it's a great place to spend time.
Wayne, do you remember he hooked us up with some calendar models or something? Do you remember this? There were girls who were trying to put together a calendar where they had like a car wash to fund their calendar or something.
Oh, that was one of Pache's projects. They had
They had
the bikini car wash.
Bikini car wash.
Yes.
And it was
That's right.
not necessarily the bikinis that we were most familiar with.
Yes. We got our pictures taken with them, and we actually grabbed a couple calendars.
Cleaned your white walls, did they, Wayne?
Exactly.
Not super sure why that stayed with me, but it did.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Hey guys, before a trip, our family got together for a Christmas Eve celebration. That always means a serious game of Uno. So let's shuffle up and deal.
You ever see something so dumb you wonder if the laws of logic have just packed up and moved to Canada? In Box of Rocks, we marvel at the baffling decisions, baffled individuals, and broke systems that make you ask, how? How did this happen? Today's topic is Uno, the beloved family card game breaking up families for more than 40 years. Brian, what do you got for us tonight?
Oh, we've had some killer games of Uno over the years, especially back in college. So Jason, Eric, and I, and usually we include somebody like Tim Reed, but then we had a friend named Niall Reitz, who would cheat while playing Uno all the time. He did the sly little tricks like, just leave cards on the floor, put down two cards at once, perfectly stacked, just put stuff in his sleeves.
Play a 6 on a 9.
Oh yeah,
like you get everyone distracted and you put a 6 down on top of a 9. Classic.
Yes.
Well, my dad is really good. You know how in the old decks of Uno, the green and the red, or the green and the blue are really similar?
Yeah.
He would always try to put a green on top of the blue. It's like, oh, no, I thought that was green. Sorry. Oh, did you?
Love that. How's that go in your family, Eric? Have you raised little cheaters? That's what I want to know.
Absolutely. And actually, I've raised, unfortunately, a group of like little detectives because like Uno is now the side game. The game in my family is actually catch dad cheating at Uno. That's the game now. So
love it. Is there a bounty? Is there money on this?
There should be. There should be. But yeah, that's what we do. I try to my favorite, the recent one we just did during a Christmas deal is I had a couple of cards and I was sitting next to Tanya and I just leaned over to whisper something to her and I kind of stuck a couple of cards underneath her leg while she was sitting there. And then later on she got up, like my dad walked over and she kind of shifted and the cards fell down. I was like, look at that. What are you doing?
Cheating
Framed
now.
your own spouse for cheating at Uno.
There's no limits there's no rules at cheating at Uno.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything in the instructions about that. So we can do it, right?
So this all dovetails nicely into the stocking stuffer gift I got for my son for Christmas, which was Liar's Uno. So they have introduced a new game where you play the cards face down, and it's up to the other players to challenge you on whether what you say about the card is true. And so there's specific liar's cards. You have to say what they are, and you can lie or tell the truth. And then if you're challenged, you draw a card. But if you have, are exposed to have been lying, you have to draw 4. And I think that's a blast. I think it is a game for our times, right? It incorporates the social and political times in which we're living, in which you just put your card down and you say what it is, and you challenge others to prove you wrong. And then it incorporates all the stuff you've just been talking about, Eric. I think everybody's family has tried to mess with these rules, don't you think?
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah, because you make them up too as you go, right? Like what's the one about if you don't have the color, do you keep drawing till you get the color in play, or do you just draw 2 and you lose your turn, right?
Right.
Yes. So there's plenty of rules and things you can change, and certainly different ways you can cheat at this game. That's for sure.
Well, and John, Louis, he got a different version of Uno this year too, called Uno No Mercy.
Yes, sir. That was
Have
the
you
other
seen
one.
that one?
Yes, sir. That was the other one on the peg. And again, I picked Liar's Uno because I thought it was more relevant, but that one looks like fun too.
No Mercy is a lot of fun. What I like about it though is it's kind of it also has a built-in thing where the hands won't last 45 minutes, because if you collect too many cards in your hand at once, you're automatically out. Yeah.
Yeah, some of those games go on forever. So if you get more than 25 cards, you're out. But of course, there has like a draw 10, cards.
That's
and
amazing.
things like that. And it is pretty wicked. And you get to shuffle your cards with other people.
Yeah.
If you get the right cards, you got to trade your cards with others and stuff. So it really does add a whole new dynamic to it. And the whole no mercy thing is real. Like, you pound people with cards. Like,
oh yeah,
draw 10 more, you're out. Like, you actually drive people out of the game.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's we played a lot of hands of that. And I got to tell you, I think only one of those hands ended in someone actually calling Uno and going out. It was mostly like a survivor game, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a whole different, it's 180 degrees different from the other game in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got one more Uno question. How many decks did you play with? Because we used to mix together 2 or 3 decks. And it makes it harder to predict how many wild draw 4s are in there, or how many reverses are in there of a color, right? If you're doing the counting cards thing to try and sort of predict what's going to happen around the table, you can't do that.
Well, in my dad's family, he's got 4 brothers. So 4 brothers and their spouses and all of the kids and stuff, we'll have 15 or 20 kids around a table.
Oh my
goodness!
goodness!
So, I mean, you need to have a stack of cards.
You got a sleeve. You're rolling them out of a sleeve.
Well, and we have like 3 piles, like 3 discard piles on the table to draw from.
Sure.
From like 4 different decks, And in that case too, like you were saying, John, about the cheating and stuff, in this, when you're in a table like that, the big thing is, who do you want to sit next to? Like that's, I don't want to sit next to
Ah,
Uncle Jim or whatever, because he's, he's got, he's got no problem sticking you with sticking a 5-year-old or whatever with a draw 4. Like, here you go, you 8-year-old kid. Like,
yeah, and it's like,
wicked.
don't dare get up, right? As Tanya learned.
That's right. Well, it's like Jesse the Body Ventura used to say. By the way, second shout out to Jesse the Body Ventura in this episode. But he used to say during his wrestling commentary, he's famous for saying, "If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying."
Listen, that's
Or you ain't cheating unless you're caught, McMahon.
That's right. It ain't cheating if you don't get caught.
That's Governor Ventura to you. And with that, we're going to turn it over to Jason, who is going to talk to us about the tunes.
We're the mixtape generation, so forgive us if we think side A should slap. In New Noise, Same Ears, we pull out the classics that shaped us and the fresh tracks we pretend we found before our kids did. So, for this segment, we thought we'd stretch ourselves a little bit and think about some music that was made more recently, and thinking about the past year, 2025. What new music came out in the past year that old people like us may have overlooked, and just really thinking too about that whole process of how we do stay relevant, and is it important for us to keep trying and not just kind of get set in our ways. So Jocko, you and I were kind of the ones who were doing the exploration of this. So how did that go on your end?
Yeah, I mean, you talk about getting set in your ways. Like I listen to, you guys know, I love whatever Americana is today, and sometimes that changes almost annually. But that's where I usually get stuck listening to those things, and a lot of the same artists. And then once in a while, you just kind of, I'll just I'll play one of those stations or whatever based on this person's music, and you catch new stuff, right? So I was doing Drive By Truckers and Jason Isbell, and um, Wednesday. There's a band called Wednesday, and their album last year in 2025 was called Bleed, and that's one that I really took to as a new one that I liked. And then for the rest of this research, I got to be honest with you, I had to go back and look at what hey Google, what's the best albums of 2025, and I zipped through a bunch of those back like I did but when I was running the radio station at UNI, and they'd send us all these, and you gotta review them real quick. But I just mentioned a couple real quick. Speaking about KUNI, guys, the Deftones are still around, and they're still making some really good rock. This album Private Music was really good.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah. And then the other one I liked, Paramore's lead singer, Hayley Williams, went out on her own to do something outside of Paramore. And that's a fantastic idea. The Ego Death at a Bachelorette Party album is very, very good. It's 20 tracks. I think it drags there. There's 2 or 3 in the middle that drag, but then it really takes off. But I think the neatest album I listened to from reviewing all that for 2025 easily was Florence and the Machine's Everybody Screams. This album has all the sounds. It's got the emotion, fantastically haunting vocals that'll remind us old people of singers like Annie Lennox and Natalie Merchant. Google it, kids. Eurythmics, 10,000 Maniacs. The title track to this thing's an anthem. But the fun bonus about this album, I think that really sold me, was they take a handful of the original tracks and they record them in a chamber version. So they're recorded with that kind of stringy, based Baroque sound with a bit of a twist. It's very creative, and it really makes you listen to a sound like the title track, Everybody Screams. It definitely sounds different, has a different vibe. But so through, I really had to research this stuff, but that was probably my favorite of 25. Jason, did you I think you had Wednesday maybe on your list too, huh?
Wednesday is definitely on my list as one of my favorite albums that I ran across. But I did the same thing that you did, where I kind of went through and what are the top 50 albums of the year or whatever. And for old white dudes like us who kind of grew up in that grungy era, like on the tail end of classic rock, moving into alt rock, college rock, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it,
Right.
they just don't make a lot of that music anymore, or that style of music. So the pop charts are really dominated by Latin music and R&B and rap and things that I'm not opposed to it, but it's not the warm water in which I like to soak. Let's just put it that way. Like, I don't mind it and I like listening to it, but it's not something I turn back to very often. So, but I did find some stuff that was really interesting and enjoyable, but not stuff that I was going to like download and put it on my list to re-listen to very much. It's just not a comfort zone for me. Um, and I did ask my son Frank for some recommendations too, because he really enjoys music, but his taste very much leans more toward the R&B and the rap. So a lot of the stuff that he was giving me was like even things like Olivia Dean, who's very popular right now, but I'd never ran across it.
Yeah, sorry,
Isaiah
blanks.
Isaiah Huron, who I also very much enjoyed. Very cool R&B, like kind of old school, like 90s R&B vibe. Very, very cool. And that kind of stuff that Frank kind of tipped me off to was very cool. But I tended to, on that big long list of 50 albums, there were a few actual rock albums. They're like rock and roll bands that I would call rock, Wednesday being one of them. Car Seat Headrest was one I ran across that I kind of enjoyed.
Wait a minute. That sounds like that's going to come up in the whip around later?
It sounds like it ought to, right? Like, it's funny band names that aren't really band names, but it's actually a real band name. Their album 2025 was called The Scholars. Very good. There's a band too that's really getting a lot of attention that I listened to, and I was like, I got the vibe. The vibe is closer to me. It's called Geese.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Have heard
Yeah.
of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
they're getting a lot of airplay right now, and I did enjoy that. But the one I would put on all of your lists, if you want some really cool old school R&B, like almost like in the gospel range almost, it's St. Paul and the Broken Bones. Do you know them?
Yeah, they were at 8035.
Really?
So
Don't know that
fun.
one. Okay.
Yeah, so fun. But they've got their 2025 album is self-titled, so St. Paul and the Broken Bones. It is so good. Like you'll want to listen to the whole thing, start to back. But the best single that I ran across, and here's an interesting situation where I listened to the single and I'm like, oh, that's such a cool song. I want to listen to the whole album. The album stinks. Not stinks, but it's just not very good.
You would. Yeah.
It's called Bang 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 by Sports Team.
Yes.
Do you know that song?
Yeah, I do. I ran into these folks earlier last year, and I'm with you. I listened to that song and I thought, oh, this is so cool. And then I listened to the rest of the album. I was like, shoot.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
the song is just a hoot. Like,
Yes.
it's so much fun. It's kind of
Yeah.
got a little spaghetti western ding diddle ding ding ding
Yeah.
ding 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 ding. I mean, it's just so cool.
It is.
But the rest of the album is just not that good.
That's-
Yeah. So
That's tough. So you had mentioned, and I had mentioned about how we kind of researched this segment, and it's not, and I don't know, what do we just get, are we tied? Why do we just listen to whatever we listen to all the time? Like, I think, like maybe if I just listened to U2 the rest of my life, I think I'd be fine. But I like to hear new music too. But I think it's even more difficult now without a top 40 radio or things like that. Like we listen to Studio One from our Iowa public radio station, and they play some of this new stuff once in a while.
They
You
do.
grab some stuff from there. Sometimes we just wander into venues, right, and check out live music, and we're like, oh, they're good. That's how we found Kiss the Tiger from Minneapolis. We went to Codfish Hollow and they were playing one night. Jason, you and I ran into the Shackletons. I think they opened for Lucero, right?
at
And
Codfish, yeah.
and they were amazing too. But
Well,
I
and,
mean,
and don't forget the Cedar Valley's own The Rumors,
yes, yeah,
right?
we went to see a House of Large Sizes kind of reunion thing, and they opened for them. I was like, I'm sold. And you talk
Exactly.
about folks not making rock and roll anymore. Those gals make rock and roll, and it's
Uh-huh.
really good stuff. But like, John, where are you finding new stuff?
Yeah, I
how's
know
this
that
come to
Jason
you?
is not a huge Spotify fan, but I have just given myself over to the Spotify algorithm. So what I do is, like, I have a playlist that is called Americana Indie Jangle, because I can't figure out what that's supposed to sound like, right? We all saw
Yeah.
the Spin magazine
Yeah.
article, which we talked about, which said that Americana is country without money.
Yep.
Which was fantastic. I'm going to do a quick shout out to note that I was pleased to see Shueyville's own Haley Witters on the list of top Americana records for the year.
Pretty cool.
It's Corn Queen, and I think that's just fantastic.
And did you see the album cover is a butter sculpture?
Oh
of her?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
right.
wonderful.
No, it's our backyard. But so what I do is I load that up with stuff that I know. Like Eric got me going on James McMurtry. I think I got him going on Jason Isbell, but that's how we're going to tell the story at least. And then we went from there. I like a lot of Sunvolt because I'm on the Sunvolt side of the split, not the Tweety side of the split. And so and
Ruben,
then
the split he's talking about is the split of Uncle Tupelo. I always say the creators of country alternative, which we all call Americana now. But you went with Jay Farr with Sunvolt, which by the way is still playing Uncle Tupelo music. But
I got about 4 influences like that going. Justin Townes Earl, like that, right? And then I found this band earlier in the year called the Mallet Brothers out of Maine, which were in the same vein, only they were adding fiddle and electric guitar to theirs. Yeah. And so what I do is the algorithm will give you 5 suggestions at the bottom of your playlist. So I kept hitting yes to stuff that I'd never heard. And pretty soon I've got 5 hours of this Americana indie jangle, and it takes me forever to work through it. And I will get rid of stuff that's terrible, or if it leans too far out of the genre, but that's how I do it.
Weenus, you're our big disco fan. I mean, are you listening to stuff outside of the 70s? Something other than Kiss?
Not too much.
Casey and the Sunshine Band?
I do listen to public radio, Radio 1. I do like that, just for a change of pace, obviously. But I also tend to find new bands on, like, when they play late night talk shows, like Jimmy Kimmel or someplace like that.
Right.
Okay.
Or you see them on Saturday Night Live.
That's
Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
So you're recording that, right? And watching it in the morning, just to be clear?
Of course he is. He goes to bed at 9:30.
Because after about 9:35, I don't know what's on anymore.
That's right. That's totally correct. So, but that's how I find out about stuff. Is I see that, or public, the public radio thing. That's what I tend to find new stuff, or you see stuff in movies. Like that Sinner soundtrack is really good.
Right, the Sinner soundtrack is a banger.
Pause for a moment.
Yeah. Wow,
the quality of at first that film all the way around, but the music for sure.
So I just saw the movie like a week ago.
Oh my God, Weenus.
And I was like, wow, that is so good, and the music from that is so good. It's not necessarily all new music, but some of it is, and there's some bangers in there. It's like, wow. So yeah.
And my wife tries to get me to go see the Best Picture nominees every year, and this year I'm just not doing it. I've already seen it.
It's Sinners. That's it. That's the list. So you know what I get stuck on our old music, and especially the 80s stuff, and especially a Devo song called Whip It.
Whip it good.
Give the pass.
I think it's about time to turn it over to the Ween for a little whip around.
Crack that whip.
Whip around.
All right. No doubt someone is wondering where we are by now. So before we get called back to reality, let's stick and move with some quick takes, fast laughs, and then we're out. It's time for a good old-fashioned whip around.
Whip around!
Whip around.
Whip it around. All right.
By the way, kids, remember I mentioned earlier I was in San Antonio this last week, and we're driving downtown with Ruben, and Ruben says, oh, I took the wrong turn. I'm just going to whip around right here. And he looked at me real quick, and I yelled, whip around!
Fantastic. Whip around in the wild.
He's a
whip
super
around
fan.
live edition.
All right. So quick and dirty. So what's your good band name you heard at work in the last week, and what genre do they play? So band name and what genre do they play? Let's go with John.
Mine is the Screw Caps, and they play mid-'80s synth and soprano saxophone, that horrible Kenny G thing.
Yeah. Screw Caps.
Ooh.
Is that 2 words or 1?
I think that's one word with a capital S, but it's the Screw Caps. Like there are several of them.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. All right, Jackson, what's yours?
Well, this one came up during some of the Thanksgiving prep, so this wasn't necessarily at work, but this is too good to pass up. Getting ready for Thanksgiving and going through the pantry at my mom's house trying to find some things to put out, and my sister opened up some crackers, and she's like, "Ooh, those are some stale ass crackers."
Yeah. Yeah.
Stale ass crackers is the band
And
name.
we're renaming our podcast.
Yeah, we are. Yes, and the band is 4 old white dudes sitting around grousing about stuff. No, we're the stale ass crackers.
It's like a spoken word thing.
Absolutely, it's beat poetry. Yeah. Yep. No clapping, just snapping when we get done.
Oh, good Lord. How do we know when you're done?
All right, so mine is Bama Beatdown, which came from the college playoff.
Yeah.
Swing. That's
The
nice.
worst. That's Alabama's worst loss since Gettysburg. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. And they're a Leonard Skinner cover band.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, duh.
Yep. Duh.
Bama fans haven't been that disappointed since Brown versus Board of Education.
That's right. That's right. All right, Jocko, what's yours?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you want the best 90s alt country covers, go see the Mohawk Stripes.
All right, then. All right.
We spent the week with Ruben, and Ruben and Tanya have this weird thing that they both like, which is called mowing the yard. They both like to do it. They're insane. And I always, talk about how I hate it. And Tanya doesn't like it when I mow anyway, because I go through it really fast. And I always leave these, I call them Mohawk Stripes. A little strip of grasses. Yeah.
Sure.
The
I'm
Mohawk
picturing
Stripes.
remember the gum, the fruit stripe? I'm picturing the fruit stripe.
Fruit stripe
the
gum.
Oh, yeah.
fruit
It'd be a
striped
great-
zebra thing.
Yeah.
Zebra.
Fruit
Yeah,
stripe
yeah,
zebra.
yeah.
That's their motif.
Beautiful.
Nice. All right, boys, we're officially whipped. The swear jar amount to benefit American Cancer Society is up to what? $86. Man, we had a huge jump. So
That fucking Festivus episode really did us in there. We're gonna have to go get a loan after that episode.
man, that was a huge jump. All right, closing credits, please.
Thank you for listening to Connect More. I'm the producer. Please subscribe and like this podcast because it's my only chance of getting paid for this gig. Connect More is a product of Pantiger LLC and is hosted by Brian Danielson, Eric Van Lanker, Jason Nisus, and John Hedgecoff. Connect More is edited by me and Jocko. The showrunners are Jax, Hedge, and Weenus. Theme music written and recorded by Ryan Veeder. Cover art designed by Leon Golden. Musical director is Evil. Legal liaison is Brian. Lead writers are John and Eric. Runner-up writers are Jason and Captain Danielson. Publication coordinator is Jax. Special thanks to GVC, Aaron, Miss Roper, and Yoko. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure to follow Connect More on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.